The past few days on the channel, we've just been showcasing DLC content for what is going to be coming up this Tuesday for DLC 1 The Resistance, once it launches for everybody on PlayStation 4 and then 30 days later for Xbox One and PC. We've been showcasing the new maps, that being Operation Intercept for War, Occupation, Valkyrie. Tomorrow we'll be showcasing Anthropoid, and then also the Zombies map, The Darkest Shore. So we've added all this kind of stuff talking about and showcasing the DLC for itself at its core on the channel here, but we haven't really talked about anything else other than that. But the world does go on around these sort of different events that are happening. The Resistance is in full swing, there are changes being made, and some things that we might actually still be seeing coming to the game as of maybe this Tuesday. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this, because while we have a lot of stuff in new collections, new weapons, new themes in the headquarters and everything like that for the Resistance event, there are still some things that you might not have noticed are still missing, and some stuff that has even been dropped by name and specifically by Condry and Sledgehammer over on Reddit in some of these most recent updates that they've been giving the community for the past couple of days to weeks now. So that said, we're gonna be talking about this, talking about the likelihood of them coming to the game maybe this Tuesday and what it could mean going forward. So that said, let's just jump right into it. So like we said, we talked about what will be coming in terms of DLC, that being Anthropoid, Valkyrie, Occupation, Operation Intercept, and The Darkest Shore for DLC 1 The Resistance. With that said, the DLC has to come in the form of an update. So while we just had a massive update for the Resistance event to add all this kind of makeover stuff to the game itself, we are going to have one, though not as major, for the launch of the DLC. You may have noticed that you can now actually preload the DLC if you're on PlayStation 4, to which you'll be able to somewhat install that content already, but whenever it actually goes live, that's when we're gonna be hit with an either hotfix or an actual update to the game also, to the point where it makes everything go live across the boards. It makes it so players can access all this kind of stuff, and so that is gonna take a little bit of an update, to which they may throw in some very minute details and some things that may actually make a difference in how you play the game, and such things including Domination XL, paint shops, the Revolver, maybe a new mode in Infected, but I wouldn't count on that one just yet. But these other ones, still major players on things that have been mentioned before, but we have not seen just yet in World War II. So let's start out with DLC weapons, because we just had a lot of those given here within the start of the Resistance event. We had the Volkssturmgewehr, a rifle, we had the Orso, an SMG, we had the combat knife, which is a melee weapon, and then we had the 9mm SAP, which is the Division Prestige weapon for the Resistance Division. Now, one thing that was teased very briefly in something that you might not have ever noticed, but it was the Twitch Prime event for this upcoming month. The most recent one that we're getting, I think this is number 3 out of 6 now or something like that, that's being offered throughout the year. So it's free to anybody that has an Amazon Prime account and link to their Twitch account, and then can link it to Activision and their Call of Duty accounts, but you end up getting a Resistance bribe and a Resistance supply drop, to which they showcased in the Resistance bribe here out of this as a sort of example of what you could end up getting out of it. It was a revolver, something that we have not seen yet thus far in World War II. Now, in the game code, there is a DLC weapon called the Reich's Revolver, in which it is in the game code. It's planned to be coming at some point in time. We just don't know when and in what capacity. But for some reason, this Twitch Prime advertisement has one of the variants as an epic weapon within the supply drops showcased. So kind of suspicious, right? Especially since we just had some DLC weapons dropped as is. Now, it's very possible that maybe we end up getting some sort of inclusion of this with the update to World War II with the DLC 1 going live on Tuesday. But if I were to guess, actually thinking about it more so, I'd maybe say that maybe this is the max prestige reward for the Resistance Division. Very similar, instead of getting a variant of the 9mm SAP, you end up getting the Reich's Revolver, to which you can end up getting subsequent variants there out of it. But that also wouldn't explain, though, why anybody wouldn't have them already if they've opened supply drops up. So I don't know, it's weird on how this could work, but maybe that's a little bit of a sort of workaround here, an explanation for it. Maybe this is the max reward for the max prestige on the Resistance Division, or maybe we end up getting more DLC coming on Tuesday. Now, as for the next thing I want to discuss, that being paint jobs and the paint shop, because I'm super excited for this one. It was probably one of my favorite things that I thought was underrated within Black Ops 3 was the ability to create your own camo on weapons. Granted, you didn't have the entire canvas of the weapon to use at your disposal, but it was still incredibly fun to play around with and create a more so custom, personalized thing than that of what anybody else could have at a supply drops or just camo challenges. But the paint shop was something that was not included with the launch launch of the game, same with the emblems, but it was actually tackled in terms of being discussed as the same as another feature that was in the same boat. The emblems was something that was also not included at launch, but together they were talked about as if they were coming in tandem, as if they were going to be included in the same update, the same patch to World War II, but we saw that the emblems actually ended up getting updated with the Resistance event. You can now upload and share those, but the paint jobs in the paint shop are still not able to be accessed for the general public, and of course, you can't make your own camos and you can't share any of them as a result. But this was something in which he got questioned a lot about it, to which Michael Condrey ended up making a little bit of a post about it on Reddit, saying simply, "Viva la Resistance," which to me doesn't offer really much clarity at all, but it gives us a general idea of when this will be coming. The Resistance event is already here, and if it's any indication whatsoever that Resistance talking about that, to me the indication means simply that it's going to be coming during the event. He can't give an accurate representation of when at the moment, or maybe he's just being a troll of himself like he sometimes likes to be and messes with the community's heads, but it seems like this to me is an indication that we'll be getting it throughout this event. Whether or not it is this Tuesday for this update that will make the DLC go live, or if it'll be some other time during the event and the next 4 weeks that'll follow, that's something that I can only guess is going to be coming at that point. So my guess, once again, with this feature, maybe Tuesday, maybe shortly thereafter. And that's kind of the trend on all these, I guess, but nonetheless, that's gonna lead us into the third thing that I wanna discuss, because once again, we do have more evidence on a mode that everybody seems to be missing out on, that being Domination XL. Now, for those guys that have not heard much about what this is, Domination XL might sound like a weird name for a game mode if you're out of the loop a little bit, but the whole conflict between the community has been between Domination being 50 points per kill and the fact that it was in the beta at 100 points per kill at one point in time. So a lot of people don't really seem to agree with the idea of keeping it 50 points per kill. They feel like there's a disconnect. They're not necessarily being listened to as a community and what they hope for out of Domination. Now, whether or not you believe in whatever side it is, whether you like 50 points per kill or you don't like it, Domination XL was sort of an answer to remedy this situation, in which we still have Domination, in which it's standard 50 points per kill, but Domination XL would come in as a either limited mode or a mode that would be something that is tested out for a full permanent mode in World War II, but it would effectively bring the points per kill up to 100 points per kill instead of 50. Everything else would be exactly the same within the game mode, and really just there you would have the choice of whatever one you wanted to play, depending on the day. So that said, I thought it was a very cool idea. A lot of people really seem to get on board with this in the community, but it was mentioned a lot of times during these sort of updates leading up to the Resistance event that it would be coming in those updates. Now, of course, as we look at it now, you can open up your menu, you can take a look through all the playlists, and Domination XL will not be there. But where is it? Because it was something that if it was listed among all these other things that are already updated, already fixed, all these things that already came out of the Resistance event, where is it? Well, that's the big $1,000,000 question that really seems to be persistent across all these other topics we've talked about. To me, I think that one of the best bets is that of the update coming up for the DLC, simply because that is another update that will have to have some sort of substance in it, and then also carry some weight going into the game, but also can be sneaking some stuff in there outside of the standard subset of the maps, both in multiplayer and zombies. So really, your guess is as good as mine if we were to ever say when exactly can we see these missing things coming, and I'm sure there's things that I've missed here, even not talking about them in the video. I'm sure there's some things that you might have been looking forward to that have not made their way into the game just yet, but were talked about as of recently via Condrey, via the Reddits of Sledgehammer, whatever it may be. But this stuff, of course, is interesting to think about because we have one update on the horizon immediately, but then after that, not for a bit of time, so it might be something that delays it even further. So I'm just really curious on when we can end up seeing these, but again, that is probably my best guess. I would hold out some hope for this Tuesday with the launch of the DLC, but also with the update that comes and follows thereafter. Maybe we end up seeing some of these things remedied and thrown into the Resistance event there within. And also, one thing that just popped in my head, the Flak Tower event. That's something we've yet to see, but was once again mentioned as coming with the update to the game that started the Resistance event as is. So a lot of stuff, once again, still on the table. Love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section and down below. What do you guys think of this? Do you think it's gonna be something in which this update gives us this remaining content that we have yet to see, these remaining changes we've yet to see, or do you think it's something that we might not see it for quite some time? There's no real right or wrong answer, but I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding Call of Duty World War II. We're gonna be killing with the content. We got Anthropoid and Zombies debuting tomorrow here on the channel, so if you guys are new, make sure you subscribe for that. And of course, if you guys want to stay up to date with best tips, tricks, news, class setups, all that good stuff, we got you covered as well. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. But all that said, now I hope you guys had a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching. Mine is an espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.